Hello, today I have a very interesting tutorial guide. Going to be using the Twitter API. We're also going to be using OpenAI API, making a simple Python script in Jupyter Notebook that's going to just get some of the latest tweets from Elon Musk on Twitter. And then we'll use OpenAI's API to look at those tweets and give them a sentiment of positive, negative, neutral, and then we'll graph out how sentiment's been for Elon Musk recently. So let's get started. The first thing you need to do is look up just Twitter developer and just go to this link, developer.twitter. You'll need to make a Twitter account. You'll also need to add a phone number to your Twitter account and just sign up. And then after you sign up, you just need to make a new project and so I already did that. I made my project, and you'll get uh, some API keys. So make sure to save those. Um, for this, you'll need elevated access. So when you first create your project, it starts off as essential. To get elevated access, you just have to fill out this form. And then you'll have it. It's pretty straightforward. It just asks you some questions like what are you using this for? So as soon as you write that, it pretty much gets approved automatically. Okay. Next, just make sure you have your OpenAI account. You can I have a bunch of other tutorials on using the OpenAI API and some other projects. So if you need a refresher on how to make an account, where to get the API key, all that stuff, I'll post that link to that. Anyway, so for this tutorial, there's a bunch of different GBT models. I'm going to be using this one just because it's a little bit cheaper than the Text DaVinci 3, which is the most powerful model. And I'm planning to do a lot of tweets, so I think this should work. So without further ado, let's just get right into it. So first I'll rename this to okay, so first thing we just need to import all of our libraries. The main one for Twitter we're going to be using is called Tweepy. And then this is for OpenAI. We're going to be using pandas. And then at the end, we'll need to make some graphs to visualize the sentiment. So we're going to import matplotlib. Okay, so those are all of our libraries we'll need. Next thing is you'll need to add all of your API keys. So I like to just put these here at the top. So we'll need a few of them. One is called API key, and this is one of the API keys that you'll get from Twitter. When you create your app, you'll see it. And then you'll need your API secret key. So that's another one you'll need. And and then you'll need your OpenAI API key as well. All right, so make sure to get your own API keys to fill these out. So these first two, the API key and API secret key, those are from Twitter. When you make your developer account, you'll get these two. So this is now going to authenticate the user. It's just passing in the API key and API secret key we added earlier. Okay, so we create this instance called API. All right, so now we need to create a function to get all of the tweets we might need. So we'll call this function get tweets. And the arguments we'll need, one is a keyword, two is going to be a date, and then three, we're going to have to, I'm gonna set a count, so a limit to how many tweets we can get, because the Twitter API has a rate limit. And like, for example, if we got every single tweet that mentioned Elon Musk, uh, definitely we would go over that. Okay, great. So we have our function to get our tweets. Now we need to set all of the arguments. We're going to set variables for these arguments. So one is, let's make this Elon Musk. That's our keyword. Um, and then for count, let's just start off with five for now. We'll increase this later. So that means we're just going to get five tweets. And tweets. So we'll set tweets equal to uh, get get tweets. And then okay, also we need to have our date. So for now, we'll just set our date equal to, let's do date time dot now. So we'll do today, and then we'll pass it in as this format. Um, year, month, day. Okay, now let's just pass this here. So we actually change this from keywords to just keywords, because it's not like there's multiple keywords here. We'll have until, and then last we have our count. Okay, we're back. So I just added my real API keys. Um, and I saw one typo. This should be strf time, not str time. So that worked. Now we got um our tweets. So let's try and output them. Let's see what happens if we just write tweets here. So you can see we get quite a lot of other stuff that we don't necessarily need here. So let's clean this up a bit. So we'll need to do a for loop where you do for tweet, and we're getting everything in tweets. And what we want to print is our tweet tweet.text. Okay. And then let's also print the date. So we'll have tweet dot created tweet dot created at. All right, and let's see what we get here. All right, so we can see these are the last five tweets posted related to Elon Musk. So you can see them here. So I'll just move that down there. All right. Okay, so now let's do this for let's say the last seven days. we're going to get the tweets. So I'm gonna make this just like an empty list. I don't want any of this stuff here. And we'll make a new variable to iterate through this. And let's put this until into our loop. So we're going to start off as today, and then each time we're iterating through this, we're subtracting whatever instance we're on. So the first time it would be 0, so we're subtracting 0 from that. So we're going to get all the tweets for today, and then the next time it runs, it will be 1. So that would be today minus 1 day, which would be yesterday, and we'll go through that. So we need to though convert this like we did before into that format. So you have to write strf time, and we'll pass in the format. So it was like this. All right, so now let's make this, I'm gonna call it tweet store or tweets temp, and it'll be the same thing, get tweets. We'll pass in our keyword until, which is this one, and then what else do we, and the count. And then next we need to add this to our tweets list. So we do tweets dot append tweets temp. Okay, so let's run that. Oh, okay. So I see what I just forgot to import time delta. So make sure at the top to add from date time import time delta. Okay, so just make sure you have this. So here, I'll add it here. All right, so it looks like it ran. Let's output what we got. Okay, so we're getting an error here. That should be because now we have a list in a list. So like, for example, if you have tweets, you can see that there's 2 brackets. So like, for example, tweets 0. Now I think this would be the first day we're in. And then you can go into this. So this is the first tweet that we pulled. So those 5 tweets, the first one in that first day. And then if you put text, we should get just that tweet. Yeah, so it seems like that's working. Like, for example, if we change this to 3, we get that 4th day first tweet, I believe it would be here. So for it to work in this loop, we got to make another for loop here. So a nested loop. So we'll have we'll call this sub list in tweets. And then we need to go through the sub list here. All right, and this should work now. Let's see. Okay, I forgot that. Yes, okay, so it works. So you can see all of these tweets that we got related to Elon Musk. All right, so great. It looks like we're getting our tweets. We have a list of them. So next thing I want to do is we're going to work with our chatbots or with OpenAI, and I want to start working on giving a sentiment to each of these tweets. So first you write ChatGPT OpenAI dot completion. We're also going to need somewhere to store the sentiment we get from OpenAI. So we'll store that inside of this PD data frame um, here. And we'll need two columns. I actually don't really need the tweet after OpenAI finishes looking through it. So we'll just have date and we'll have sentiment. Okay, so I'll run that and let's work. Oh, what's wrong? Oh, okay. Module pandas has no attribute data frame. Oh, I think I forgot the case. Let's try that. Yeah, okay. So there we go. We're good with that. I'm gonna work in this next cell here. All right, so first thing I want to fix is let's just make this the date as the same format up up here. So we'll just add in this to it. So let's see, does that fix our date? Yeah, perfect. So now we have the same dates because really I only want to care about the same day. I want to group these tweets on the same day together. I don't want to see it like by hour. All right, so now we need to work on our prompt here with OpenAI. So you need to write chatbot dot create. Right, so I'm going to use Text Babage 1. You could use Text DaVinci 3. It's more powerful, but also more expensive. All right, so to get the sentiment, I'm going to try this prompt. Okay, so we selected our engine, and I have this prompt here. I wrote all of this out. Return the most likely sentiment opinion towards Elon Musk of the person who posted this tweet as only the word positive, negative, or neutral. And then we have the tweet here. Uh, next, okay, next, this is definitely important. You'll need to set the max tokens. So we really don't need too many tokens since it's just one word. And then this is also important. The temperature, I found that it works best for sentiment with low temperature. So temperature is measures like the creativity with responses. So higher should be more creative, lower should be more like just directly what we want here. So we just let's put temperature 0. Okay. So we can now, why don't we print the response that we get for all of these tweets? Remove the script for just 1 second. All right, so let's have a look at how it ranks the sentiment of some of these. And it doesn't always do the greatest job, I would say. Like, for example, Elon Musk is continuing to expose how evil George Soros is, blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, I would say whoever posted this definitely seems to have a positive view of Elon Musk, definitely not negative view of George Soros, it seems. Um, Elon Musk exposed China, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, this seems like this person has a positive view of Elon Musk. This one I would say is neutral. I don't see any output for it. All right, here's a good one that kind of shows some limitations with this. So if Elon Musk can afford to lose 200 billion in a single year, he can afford a wealth tax. And the AI is saying it's positive, but this is definitely, I'm pretty confident this user has a negative view towards Musk. Is Twitter is better because Elon Musk. So this person is definitely very positive. So there's definitely limitations. It's good at predicting the sentiment if it's like really obvious things. Like, for example, I saw a tweet saying Elon Musk should be thrown in prison. I hate Musk. That like that, it'll get right. So the next thing we need to do is we'll need to take that data frame from earlier and now start adding in our values there. So one is we have a date, and then for date, we're going to want this thing that we printed out. And then we also will need that column sentiment. And in sentiment, we'll need to put in uh, this thing. And then I'm just going to add strip to get rid of all of these white spaces. I left it because it's easier to see, but obviously to store it, we don't need that. The date and the sentiments we got to our data frame. And let's now work on getting the cleaning this up a bit. And then we'll just output a graph. So first, we just need to make sure sentiment only has positive, negative, or neutral, that uh, it didn't output anything weird or anything that doesn't really belong into to there. Next thing, to make this easy to graph, I just want to replace the values with or these positive, negative, neutral with actual numbers instead. Negative, we'll put -1, and then neutral, we'll just put 0. All right, so now we're just going to group all of those together. Okay, so once you finish that, we have our, we're appending our date and then also our sentiment here. And you can see that this is what we have right now inside of sentiment. So we just need to clean this up a little bit to just have positive, negative, or neutral. So we'll have DF sentiment is in positive, negative, neutral. And then we need to have our sentiment replaced with 1, -1, or 0, corresponding with positive, negative, neutral. And then we just need to group it by date. So we can then graph this. So let's run this. Looks like we have the sentiment now the way we want it. So we'll just plot that. We can see here's a graphical representation of Elon Musk's sentiment from OpenAI for the last 7 days, only looking at 5 tweets though. Okay, so why don't we have a look at this with a lot more tweets? Like, let's see, how about, let's say, 200 tweets we'll look at. Um, and we'll do that for the last 7 days. So we're still pulling in tweets. Um, looking at these myself, I think these are all over the place. There's definitely some negative ones and positive ones here. Okay, so this is the bar graph we got. Mostly positive sentiment, it seems like, but interesting to see on the 16th that it was so negative. I wouldn't, I would take this graph though kind of as a grain of salt because one we saw earlier, like how OpenAI, it classifies positive, negative, and neutral. It can kind of be all over the place and doesn't always make sense with what I really think should be considered a positive opinion, negative opinion, or neutral opinion towards Elon Musk. So, one solution, I believe, OpenAI has some fine tuning. So, if there's a way to fine tune the um, prompts to better output what we actually want, could probably make this graph more accurate. Yeah, but maybe let's take a look at what on 2023 January 16th, what kind of tweets there were. So, I mean, this one seems like a negative opinion. Your reminder that Elon Musk is not an engineer. Um, a lot of these, though, I think they're like neutral or not really negative. There's a lot of tweets on the 16th all about Musk exposing different people. I don't know why there's so many tweets about what that's about. Anyway, yeah, so I think a cool place to continue with this project, if you finish it, is maybe one, fine-tuning the model so it can better classify positive, negative, neutral tweets, and then two, working with the Twitter development to have increased rate limits and being able to get a lot more tweets. It would definitely be interesting to see if we fine tune this to be accurate over like a 5-year period, whether the sentiment towards Musk has changed at all, looking at the data of all the tweets on Twitter. Anyway, I'm gonna stop off here. All of this code I'll put on GitHub, so you can copy it. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.